Let's bring in Joe Siracusa. He's an author and professor of security and diplomacy at Curtin University in Australia. He joins us live from Melbourne. Hi, Joe.
How you doing, Michelle?
All right, so when you look
Good
at
afternoon.
Good afternoon to you. Roe versus Wade, of course, has always been hugely controversial. And in that decision, the court said it pointed to a woman's right to liberty, that the Constitution couldn't infringe on that if a woman wants to have an abortion. But it also accounted for the rights of a fetus after viability, after a fetus could survive outside the woman's body. What is this majority opinion saying is so wrong with that old one?
Okay, the original Roe versus v. Wade legalized abortion and protected the fetus in the second and the third trimester. But at the same time, it allowed women to get legally to get an abortion based on their rights of privacy or liberty, as you say. They had private rights and of course this new opinion which is coming down the pike. And look, let's not make any bones about it. Somebody stole that document from the Supreme Court. That's a major breach. I mean, they've been trying to throw Julian Assange in prison for less than this. Somebody has let the cat out of the bag here. And I'm sure this is the way it's going to look in June. And what it's saying is, it's saying that the founding fathers ain't got nothing to say about abortion. This should be handled by state legislatures. It should be the decision of the people's legislature. So while they don't make any judgment about the legality of it, what they've done is they've overturned it, and they've turned it over to the state legislatures. And half of the American state legislatures, as you know, Michelle, ban abortion in most of its forms. And the thing is here is that this is going to create a political firestorm. The men in my generation, we were the Vietnam baby boom. There were 27 million of us. There were also 27 million women born at that time who fought for this on the left, right, and center. And if you think the American government is going to get a fight telling American men what they can do with their guns, wait till you see what happens now when the American government tells women what they can do with their bodies. Because this isn't just about reproductive rights. This is about their dignity and independence and all the rest of it. And they don't want to be told. And, not everybody in America is a Roman Catholic to the core or a born-again Christian. They regard this as a hands-off thing. But it symbolizes the entire women's movement, which is very powerful in the 60s and 70s. And most of us thought this was settled law. They couldn't be disturbed. But, somebody lied to us. And, of course, this is a great tribute to Donald Trump's free appointments to the Supreme Court. They're starting to pay their dividends. And the other thing here, Michelle, is, and this is really interesting. What this has done is this has forced us to look anew at the November elections.
Yeah.
In November, about 45 Democrats were going to be defeated. There was going to be an overwhelming majority in the House of Representatives, and they were going to start to impeach everybody left, right, and center. But this is going to force people to have another look at this thing, it's going to bring people on the streets. And the other thing is, and I like to make predictions on your show, since I've been right a couple times. And number one is that this is going to guarantee that Hillary Clinton is going to run for president. She's got some unfinished business.
Yeah, we'll see.
She would.
But Joe, I just want to ask you briefly. When you talk to Europeans, people outside the United States, they always say, they look at amazement in America, and they say, why are you all so obsessed with abortion? So briefly, in your words, tell our international viewers why this is.
Well, America was born in the Judeo-Christian tradition, and they had a very strict view of women's rights and abortion and that kind of thing. It was almost always illegal. 65 nations in the world today still ban abortion in some way, and the United States will be joining them. But it was about the reproductive rights, and of course, America is a paternalistic society, and a lot of the rules were written by men for women up until the women's vote in the early 1900s, and so there was that kind of paternity involved. The thing is, too, is that the American government or the American people are essentially they're very strict about sex alcohol, things like that, who can drive a car and when, you know. America's not Hollywood. The heartland of America is very restrictive, you know, and, you know, my father's generation, they banned the manufacture and sale of alcohol. Well, how did that go? This is the same kind of deal.
Got
It's
it.
threatening. And of course, finally here, it's going to create a health care system in America. A woman with money, any kind of money, can go across state lines or go to her private gynecologist. But black and brown women with limited sources, they're not going to be able to get a federally funded abortion. And so it's going to create all kinds of problems. And so now this is going to transform the election, maybe in November, but for sure in the presidential election.
Good points,
and
Joe.
Is this a bit, okay.
I appreciate it. Thanks so much.
Okay.